Hello everyone, welcome to my channel B&B CBS Gossip 24. The bold and the beautiful, Sheila and Remy scheme together. New deal leads to more romantic trouble? The bold and the beautiful spoilers hint that Sheila Sharp and Remy Price may scheme together. Will Remy and Sheila strike a new deal that leads to even more romantic trouble? At the moment, Sheila thinks Deacon Sharp has come back to her thanks to his sessions with Taylor Hayes. Although Sheila is hoping to do things right this time and resume their romantic future, she's in for a rude awakening. At some point, Sheila will inevitably realize Taylor and Deacon are attracted to each other. There's a spark between Deacon and Taylor that they'll have a hard time letting go of in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, Remy will plan to do whatever it takes to repair the damage with Deke Sharp and restore the trust between them. That's not going to be an easy task, so Remy could turn to Sheila as a confidant and seek her advice. Sheila has helped Remy in the past and may find herself in a position to offer more assistance. However, Sheila may want something for herself in return. Since Sheila needs to keep her hands clean and prove to Deacon she can stay on her best behavior, she might put Remy to work sabotaging his bond with Taylor. Remy might carry out some orders for Sheila as he works to keep Taylor and Deacon apart. Sheila may decide that if Taylor's out of the way, Deacon will focus on only her again. Once Deacon and Sheila's marriage is back on truly solid ground, she may argue that Deacon will embrace forgiveness and push Deke to forgive Remy, too. Whatever the case, it'd be interesting to see Remy join forces with Sheila as they work on achieving romantic bliss. This seems like a situation where Sheila and Remy would ultimately get caught plotting together, so that could lead to even more drama. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Remy and Sheila will have their work cut out for them no matter what, so stay tuned for updates on any shocking news to come. Remy sat at the small table, elbows braced, staring at an untouched cup of coffee. Sheila stood at the counter, calmly slicing an apple, as if this were just any Tuesday night. No drama. No threat. Just unsettling domesticity. Sheila. You're thinking about her. Remy didn't answer, didn't need to. Electra's absence filled the room more than her presence ever had. Remy. She thinks I'm tainted. Irredeemable. Poison. Sheila set the knife down and moved slowly, deliberately, sitting across from him. Sheila. People fear what they can't predict. And love becomes fear the moment it loses control. She leaned in slightly, eyes piercing but warm. Sheila. Electra didn't leave because you're like me. She left because she was afraid you might be. That cracked him open. His voice broke. Remy. And am I? Sheila's expression softened, maternal, haunting. Sheila. Not yet. Lightning flashed across his face. Remy swallowed hard. Remy. If I stay with you, what happens to me? Sheila didn't smile. This wasn't triumph. This was strategy. She reached across the table, slow, offering her hand palm up. Sheila. I teach you how to survive them. How to stop apologizing for existing. How to never be abandoned again. Remy stared at her hand. He did not take it. But he did not reject it either. Remy. And in return. Now Sheila smiled. Soft. Precise. Deadly. Sheila. You helped me get back into the world that threw me out. Remy's breath hitched. Because he knew what she meant. The Foresters. Hope. Electra. Luna. Everyone he cared about. Remy. You want me to open doors for you? Sheila. No. She lifted her hand just slightly closer. I want you to knock. And let them open the doors themselves. Remy stared at her. Sheila didn't push. She just waited. Remy whispered. Remy. I don't want to be you. Sheila's reply was almost tender. Sheila. Good. Then you'll be better. And he made the smallest, quietest mistake of his life. He took her hand. Electra worked alone, sketchpad blank in front of her. The silence swallowed her. She picked up her phone. Her thumb hovered over Remy's name. She didn't call. She deleted the contact. The screen blurred as tears finally fell. Luna stared out the window, her hands clasped tightly. She whispered. Luna. Remy, please don't let her turn you into something you're not. RJ heard her, and could only offer silence. Because there were no reassurances left. Sheila released Remy's hand, almost ceremonially. Sheila. We start tomorrow. Remy nodded. But something flickered across his face, a memory. Electra's fingers against his cheek. The warmth of her heartbreak. He turned away from Sheila. But Sheila watched him. And her smile returned. Not triumphant. Inevitable. City lights below. Storm clouds clearing. But the storm was not gone. Not even close. Sheila. Love always brings them back. Steffi looked up as Electra stepped into the office. No dramatics. No storm. Just quiet resolve. Which, in a Forrester, is worse than shouting. Electra closed the door softly. Electra. I need a minute. Steffi nodded, studying her face, already sensing the truth. Electra Saturday. Back straight. Hands folded. Composed so tightly she might crack if she breathed wrong. Electra. I'm leaving Los Angeles. The words settled like dust, soft, and impossible to remove. Steffi leaned forward. Steffi. Out of grief. Electra. Out of survival. A pause. Electra. If I stay here, I will spend every day trying not to look for him. Trying not to wonder. Trying not to hope. And I will lose myself in the process. Steffi met her gaze. Not CEO to employee. Not rival to rival. Woman to woman. Heart to broken heart. Steffi. You love him. Electra's eyes shined, but no tears fell. Electra. Yes. And that's exactly why I have to go. Electra stood and walked to the window overlooking the courtyard below. People moved. Lived. Loved. Fought. Healed. Life didn't stop when your heart did. Electra. Everyone in this city has a place. A legacy. A team. I think I fooled myself into believing I had one too. Steffi stepped beside her. Steffi. You did. You do. Electra shook her head slowly. Electra. No. I was choosing love to anchor me. And when love shifts, the whole world moves beneath your feet. Steffi swallowed. Steffi. This isn't Remy abandoning you. He's lost. Electra. And I can't follow him into the dark just to keep him company. That hit like a silent earthquake. Steffi exhaled. Steffi. If you leave now, Sheila will replace you. In his life. In his identity. And you won't just be losing him, you'll be giving him away. Electra's jaw tightened. Electra. I know. Steffi blinked, taken aback by the certainty in her voice. Electra. But if I stay, I'll break in half. Silence. Then, Steffi's tone softened. Not a command. A confession. Steffi. I don't want you to go. Electra finally looked back at her. Electra. I know. But you're strong. You'll still be standing when this storm clears. Her voice cracked, just once. Electra. I don't know if I will. Electra moved toward the door. Stopped. Turned back. And stepped into Steffi's arms. Steffi held her, fiercely, protectively, like she understood exactly what it meant to walk away before you shattered. No words. Words would make it collapse. Electra stood with a single suitcase. The city lights glowed like ghosts inside misty air. A rideshare car pulled up. She opened the back door. Then paused. Her phone buzzed. Remy's name. One new voicemail. She didn't listen. She deleted it. She got into the car. And LA began to recede. Remy stood at the window, phone in hand, voicemail unanswered. Sheila entered behind him. He didn't turn. Remy. She's gone. Not accusatory. Not wounded. Just truth. Sheila stepped close enough that he could feel the warmth of her presence. Not touching. Not pushing. Just there. Sheila. Then you have no one left to lose. The words slipped in clean, like a blade. Remy exhaled. Maybe it was grief. Maybe it was surrender. Maybe it was something darker. His voice was calm. Remy. Tell me what you need me to do. Sheila did not smile. She glowed. Hope sat in the Forrester living room, posture stiff, hands clasped tightly in her lap, waiting. She did not come as a Logan. She did not come as a rival. She came as someone who had seen the darkest version of love up close. Steffi entered. Her shoulders were squared. She was not hostile, but she was armored. They stood facing each other. No one spoke. The silence was the ghost of every fight they had ever had. Then, Steffi, thank you for coming. Hope exhaled, relieved, a peace flag accepted. Hope, this isn't about us anymore. Steffi nodded. Steffi, no. It's about him. Hope's eyes flickered, pain and resolve braided together. They sat across from each other, not too close, but close enough to be heard without raising their voices. Hope. Sheila doesn't claim people with threats. She claims them with love. Steffi's expression tightened. Steffi. Twisted love. Hope nodded. Hope. But to someone who feels abandoned, to someone who thinks they've failed everyone they care about. Sheila doesn't look twisted. She looks safe. That landed. Hard. Steffi looked down, jaw flexing. Steffi. I spent years thinking I was immune to her. That I was strong enough not to get pulled in. And then Finn. She stopped. Collected herself. Started again. Steffi. No one is immune. Hope's voice softened, sincere, not strategic. Hope. Which is why we don't get to judge Remy. We have to reach him before she rewrites his world. Steffi studied Hope, the woman she once blamed for every fracture in her life. She now saw something different. Someone who understood falling apart. Steffi. We can't approach as a rescue. He'll push back. Hope. I know. She swallowed. We have to approach as love. That word hung between them, fragile, dangerous, real. Steffi moved to the table, pulled out a map of Los Angeles with a series of marked locations. Steffi. Sheila has patterns. She circles familiarity. Safe spaces. People who once mattered. Hope leaned in. She pointed to a location circling the edges of city limits, forgotten, quiet. Hope. There. The old motel off Highway 14. Steffi's eyebrows lifted, impressed, not irritated. Steffi. How did you know? Hope didn't look away. Hope. Because that's where Thomas used to go when he wanted to disappear but still be found. Steffi froze. Not because of Thomas, but because she suddenly knew Hope was right. This wasn't theory. This was lived experience. They stood side by side now, almost shoulder to shoulder. Steffi. We're not going there to fight her. Hope. No. We're going there to reach him. Steffi. And if she tries to stop us? Hope's eyes didn't waver. Not this time. Hope. Then I won't run. Steffi waited, reading her, looking for hesitation. There was none. Steffi, soft, amazed. Hope, you're not the same girl I used to fight. Hope smiled, but it was sad. Hope. Neither are you. And in that moment, the rivalry that defined a decade shifted. Not erased. Not forgotten. But redirected. Sheila stood behind Remy, combing his hair gently with her fingers like a mother soothing a child after a nightmare. Not controlling. Not seductive. Just intimate. Sheila, soft, humming. You're not alone anymore. Not ever again. Remy closed his eyes, not in comfort. In surrender. Lightning flickered across the room. Then. A car engine. Outside. Stopping. Sheila's eyes opened. A smile touched the corner of her lips. Not surprised. Not threatened. Expecting. Sheila. They came. Remy's breath trembled. Hope and Steffi stood outside the door. Together. On the same side. At last. Hope's hand hovered just above the doorknob, not touching it, just feeling the weight of the moment. Steffi didn't speak. She didn't urge. She didn't command. She simply waited. Because she knew. This first move had to come from Hope. Hope inhaled slowly, a breath that shook on the way in, steady on the way out. Then she knocked. Soft. Twice. Inside the room. Remy opened the door. His eyes were tired, not red from crying, not wild from fear. Just tired in the way that comes from carrying too many truths at once. Sheila stood behind him, still and quiet, watching, not controlling him, not touching him. Remy stepped aside. He didn't invite them in with words. He just allowed them space. Hope entered first. Steffi followed. The door closed behind them with a soft click. Hope and Remy faced each other across the room, the space between them filled with every memory of every conversation that had ever mattered. Steffi leaned against the wall, arms folded, not as defense, but to hold herself together. Sheila stayed near the window, not speaking, not intruding, simply present. The rain outside slowed to a gentle hush. Hope spoke first. Her voice was soft, not pleading, not posturing. Just true. Hope. I didn't come here to stop you. And I didn't come here to bring you back. Remy's shoulders eased, like he'd been bracing for a fight that didn't come. Hope stepped closer. Hope. I came because I know what it feels like. To think that you're easier to love when you're hurting. To believe you're only valuable when someone else is saving you. Remy blinked, and that was the first break in his composure. Remy. Electra left. Hope nodded, eyes warm, but not pitying. Hope. She left because she was breaking. Not because you were unworthy of staying. Remy swallowed, throat tight. Steffi's voice came next, quiet, steady. Steffi. You are not defined by your blood. Not mine. Not my family's. Not hers. Sheila watched, unflinching, unashamed. She did not defend herself. She did not intervene. Hope stepped even closer, now only a foot between them. Hope. You don't need to decide who you are tonight. And you don't need to cut your heart in half to prove something to anyone. Her voice softened further. Hope. You are allowed to take time. To feel. To heal. To be lost. Remy's breath broke, just slightly. Then. Remy. But if I go back, will it just hurt again? Hope's answer was the gentlest truth in the world. Hope. Yes. It will. But hurting with people who love you is not the same thing as hurting alone. Silence. Then Remy turned, slowly, to Sheila. She watched him. Unmoving. Unblinking. Unaccusing. And said, simply. Sheila. Whatever choice you make it because it's yours. No threat. No manipulation. No seduction. Just a statement. Which made it more dangerous than anything she could have shouted. The decision. Remy looked at Hope. Then Steffi. Then Sheila. Then himself, reflected in the dark window. He didn't choose yet. He couldn't. Healing is not a single decision. Healing is a direction. And in this moment, he took only one small step. He sat down. On the floor. Between all three women. Not choosing one. Not aligning with one. Just staying. Present. Alive. Seen. Hope sat next to him. Steffi sat on his other side. Sheila stayed where she was, hands folded, watching the child she lost trying to become the man he could be. No one spoke. No one needed to. The silence was the healing. The silence was the danger. Finn sat in a low chow across from Remy, legs relaxed, hands open, no clipboard, no notes, just presence. Remy's posture was guarded at first, one ankle hooked behind the other, arms folded loosely, gaze on the floor. Not defiant. Not closed. Just careful. Finn didn't rush him. They sat in silence for nearly a full minute. Finn spoke first, gently. Finn. This isn't about diagnosing you. Or fixing you. It's just space to breathe. Remy's voice was quiet, thin. Remy. Breathing hurts. Finn nodded, accepting that without pity. Finn. It does. Especially when you've been holding it for a long time. Remy let out a breath, uneven, unsteady, but real. Remy didn't talk about Sheila. Or Electra. Or the Foresters. He went farther back. Remy. Every time I tried to be good, it didn't stick. Like the goodness wasn't mine. Like I was acting. Finn leaned slightly forward, not intense, just attentive. Finn. So you learned to measure yourself by how other people looked at you. Remy's eyes lifted, that hit too precisely. Remy. Yeah. Finn. That's not because you're empty. It's because you were never mirrored correctly. Remy frowned, confused. Finn clarified, voice warm. Finn. Children learn who they are by how their caregivers look at them. If no one reflects back your value, you learn to borrow identity instead of build it. Remy swallowed hard, a sound like something cracking inside. Steffi passed by the observation window without knocking, just watching a moment. Not possessive. Protective. She saw Remy's shoulders loosen, saw Finn's steady calm, and something inside her tightened. Hope joined her, quietly. Hope. He trusts him. Steffi nodded, but her jaw flexed. Steffi. I just don't want him depending on someone who's also still healing from her. Hope understood instantly. Hope. You mean Sheila? Steffi's eyes didn't leave the window. Steffi. There's a part of Finn that will always ache for the idea of her. Hope didn't argue, because that was true. Hope. And that means he'll understand Remy's ache, too. Steffi exhaled. It didn't soothe. It stung. But it made sense. Cut to Sheila, alone in her motel room. Sitting upright. Still. Hands clasped. No rage. No panic. Just a slow, cold realization. Finn could reach Remy. In ways she never could. Sheila, quiet, controlled. His replacing me. Not said in fury. Said like a prophecy. Her eyes didn't fill. Her breath didn't shake. She simply stood. And began planning. Not to destroy. To reclaim. Back in the counseling room. Remy's voice broke, but not loudly. Just softly, the way a dam cracks before it collapses. Remy. I don't know how to be someone who deserves to stay. Finn didn't hesitate. This was the moment. Not advice. Not correction. A truth offered as a gift. Finn. You don't have to deserve love, Remy. You just have to be willing to believe you're worth the effort it takes to keep choosing yourself. Remy's breath shook, tears slipping silently down his face. No sobbing. No collapse. Just release. Finn didn't move closer. He just held the space with him. And that was what Remy needed. Not rescue. Not redemption. Witnessing. Steffi and Hope watched. Both saw the same thing. Remy wasn't healing because of them. He was healing near them. And that mattered more. Steffi whispered, almost to herself. Steffi. If Finn can do what none of us can, maybe he's the one who saves him. Hope nodded. But her eyes reflected the deeper truth. Hope. Only if Remy wants to be saved.